Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Anisatul Rohma, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that I find both powerful and practical for language teaching, using storytelling as a tool for language acquisitions in English as a foreign language or EFL classroom. Before we begin, let me give you a quick outline of these presentations. First, I will introduce the topic, then I will explain what storytelling means in an AFL context and why it works so well from a theoretical perspective. After that, I will discuss the key benefits and some practical techniques and tools and steps for implementing storytelling in the classroom and a few common challenges with their solutions. Finally, I will close with a conclusions. Let's start with the introductions. Learning English as a foreign language can feel difficult and sometimes even boring, especially when classes focus only on memorizing grammar rules or long vocabulary lists. However, human beings are naturally drawn to stories. From childhood, we listen to, tell, and remember stories more easily than isolated facts. These natural attractions to narrative make storytelling a powerful, meaningful, and enjoyable tool for helping EFL learners acquire language naturally rather than just studying it. So, what exactly is storytelling in an EFL context? Simple but storytelling is the use of narratives, such as fairy tale, folktale, personal experiences, or picture books, to teach and reinforce language skill in a meaningful, contextualized way. A good story has a clear elements, characters, a setting and a plot, and it's delivered with expressive voice, gesture, and facial expression to keep learner engaged. Most importantly, storytelling shifts the learner's focus away from memorizing grammar rules and towards using language for real, authentic communications. Storytelling is not just entertaining, it is also strongly supported by language acquisition theory. According to Crescent's input hypothesis, learners acquire language best then they receive comprehensible input that is slightly above their current levels, and stories naturally provide that kind of contextualized input. Storytelling also lowers what Krashen calls the affective filter. When students enjoy a story, they feel more relaxed and less anxious, which creates ideal conditions for learning. In addition, dual coding theory tells us that combining verbal information with mental images strengthens memory. Because stories simulated imagination, they help learners remember new vocabulary and structure more effectively. Now, let's look at the key benefits storytelling brings to language acquisitions. First, vocabulary growth. Students are repeatedly exposed to new words in meaningful contexts, which help them remember and use those words correctly. Second, listening comprehensions improved as students actively listened to the narrative structures, intonations, and rhythm of spoken English. Third, speaking fluency developed because retelling stories gives students a safe, low pressures way to practice natural expressions and build confidence. And the fourth, storytelling builds cultural awareness since stories often introduce the values, traditions, and ways of thinking of English speaking culture. There are many practical techniques and tools teachers can use. Picture, books, and illustration help learners connect images with meaning, which is especially useful for beginners. Digital storytelling using videos, animations, or apps makes stories more interactive and appeals to today's technology students. Storytelling and simple classroom drama give learners the chance to actively perform to the language, not just a listen to it. And finally, a well-known method called TPRS or teaching proficiency through reading and storytelling combines reading to and co-created storytelling to build both accuracy and fluency. Implementing storytelling in the EFL classroom can follow five simple steps. First, choose a story that matches at the student's age and proficiency level. Second, free teach a few vocabulary items so students are not lost during the story. Third, tell or read the story with expression, visual, and gesture to keep it lively. Fourth, engage students actively by asking questions, encouraging predictions, or inviting them to retell parts of the story. And the fifth, provide follow-up activities such as writing, role play, or group discussion to reinforce what students have learned. Of course, storytelling also comes with challenge. Limited class time can make it hard to fit a full story into one lesson. Mixed proficiency levels can make a single story too easy for some students and too difficult for others. And not every teachers feel confident telling stories aloud. Fortunately, this challenge have practical solutions. Teacher can choose short and simple stories, simple or adapt the language for different levels, and provide differentiated follow-up tasks. Teacher can also build the storytelling confidence over time and use props, pictures, or multimedia to support their delivery. In conclusions, storytelling transforms English language learning from a mechanical task into a meaningful and memorable experience. It is supported by strong theories of second language acquisitions and it develops vocabulary, listening, speaking, and cultural understanding all at the same time. Storytelling is also practical and flexible, and it can be adapted to different levels and classroom contexts. Therefore, I recommended that EFL teachers integrate storytelling regularly into their classroom, not just an occasional activity, but as a core part of how students acquire the English language. That's bring me to the end of my presentations. Thank you very much for your attentions. And the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.